Hey everyone, this is Kelvin. I'm talking to Silver Talon here at Gallup at the Juggernaut. Big fan of the band. I got into you guys. I first heard of like Spellcaster, before before the split of Spellcaster. And then I found out you guys are in this band, or a majority of the members ended up in this band. So,
sort of, in a way. It initially started like that, and then Gabe from Spellcaster played bass. Also started Idle Hands, which later became Unto Others, and they kind of exploded. So the rest of the guys, like Colin and Gabe and Sebastian, who was in Spellcaster for kind of just a short time at the end there, they're mostly busy with the Unto Other stuff. So at this point, it's basically just me from Spellcaster.
I forgot to introduce everyone. Do you mind you guys just introducing yourself and kind of your role in the band?
Yeah, I am Bryce Van Hoosen. I play guitar, and I am the band father.
I'm Wyatt Howell. I do the vocals.
Michael Thompson, I play drums.
Devin Miller, I do guitar and backing vocals.
I'm Walter Hartzell. I drive the van and make the food, so they let me play bass.
Yeah, well, thanks, guys. And as far as the band, I understand you guys started 2017. You guys are based out of Portland, Oregon. As far as like when this band, well, I guess this is more for Bryce, but when Silver Talon first kind of began, like, how did that come about, and kind of how would you say this band differs from your previous band, Spellcaster?
Yeah, I mean, at first it was really kind of just one sort of big, long continuation with Wyatt on vocals and the rest of the guys who were in the final formation of Spellcaster. Things sort of changed, and I think I kind of wanted to take it in a direction that was maybe a little bit more aggressive, I guess, if you will. So I think that is probably the biggest differentiating factor between Silver Talon and Spellcaster. Spellcaster was a little more melodic and kind of just sort of rocking. We're maybe a little bit more aggressive and technical and I guess extreme, if you will.
I can definitely hear that with Spellcaster. It's more like, definitely more melodic. I think the vocals definitely are probably a big difference, and the guitar work for sure. And then as far as Silver Talon, I read a lot of like press and stuff, and the comparisons they always make is like Nevermore and Queensryche. Was that are those like some of your guys' influences, or do you guys have other influences, or just kind of what are your guys' influences in general?
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely some of the influences, Queensryche was a big influence in the Spellcaster days as well. Kind of pulling in sort of like the Nevermore Sanctuary thing, and then I mean we listen to all kinds of different shit also. So I think on a normal day, we might be driving around listening to like death metal or some like gangster rap or some shit like that, or songs about farts and things like that.
Awesome. And then I know when the band first started, you guys you mentioned Gabriel and was it Colin that was on drums. How did you go about recruiting the rest of the guys for Silver Talon?
So those guys pretty much got super busy around 2019 touring with Idle Hands, which is now Unto Others. So we sort of had like a temporary drummer kind of at the time, and he introduced us to Walter, so that's how we got Walter into the fold. And then once we sort of parted ways with him, then Devin had been friends with Michael and said, hey, I think Michael would be a really good fit. So we got a hold of him and we jammed, and somehow they both agreed to be in the band. So
have you guys been able to like tour with Silver Talon like pre-pandemic or?
So we had one tour. Was it what, like November, or December of 2019? November, yeah. So we had like a little short run with Savage Master where it really, like, we hadn't really gotten to hang out as a group all that often. It was all like us kind of tightening up and seeing really like how comfortable we were with each other on the road. And then pandemic hit, and we were able to put out an album, but we really weren't able to do anything in support of it. So right now, this is really our support for the album that we put out last year, and just getting it on the road and, you know, seeing what the reception is.
Yeah, you guys put out an EP, right? Was it in 2018, 2019? Becoming a Demon. And then the album that came out just over a year ago, right? Decadence and Decay. How's been like the response for you guys like for those releases?
It's been good. I mean, I think we got a good amount of press and stuff for Decadence and Decay. For Becoming a Demon, I mean, it was sort of like getting our foot in the door. And so I think that was pretty well received. We were sort of still kind of figuring out what we kind of wanted to do and how we sort of wanted to sound. A lot of the songs were just like leftover Spellcaster tracks that never got recorded with that band. So yeah, that came out. People seemed to like it, and then we did the album, which is all new stuff written completely for Silver Talon with this lineup, and yeah, it seems to have garnered quite a bit more attention than the EP did. So definitely pleased about that.
Well, that's cool. This is like kind of like your first big run for the releases. How are the shows been? I understand it's like the fifth stop. Any like highlights from the previous shows?
Yeah, I mean, they've all been awesome. I don't know. I think my favorite show probably so far would be Tucson. That was a good sweaty one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The stage was real small, so 90% of the band was just on the floor, so I got to run around on the stage and jump off and shit, so it was real fun.
And then you mentioned you do most of the driving, or do you guys kind of alternate?
Bryce and I have been switching off on driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys get to do any sightseeing along this part of the country?
No. It's been pretty much like, if we're not sleeping, we're driving, and even while we're driving, we're sleeping. So not a whole lot of time to like pull off. Like if we pull off, we're using the restroom or like grabbing a little bit of food or coffee or something, and then right back on the road again.
I battled a tarantula hawk yesterday, and I almost lost my life, but I'm here.
Yeah.
He lost his.
You know, when I saw this lineup, it was pretty cool. I think each band kind of complements one another. I feel like Hatriot's like the Bay Area thrash, and then you guys are like the kind of like the progressive, technical, like, you know, power metal, and then Ex Mortis kind of combines those two things, and the way they play. How did this tour come about, or how did you guys get approached to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I just got a message from Marco, the guy over our label, and asked if we wanted to do it, and so we said yes, and that was really it. It was just kind of a, hey, are you guys available to do this? And we were. So of course, having not toured for like 2.5 years or whatever, we're all pretty eager to get out on the road and start actually doing stuff and being a real band again.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Really looking forward to the show, and all the bands too. As far as like the other bands, Hatriot and Ex Mortis, have you guys kind of like checked out their sets, or how do you feel, or what do you think of their styles?
It's actually like a really cool mixture, because like as the show goes on, like, you know, there's us, there's kind of, you know, like progressive power metal stuff, like you said. Then you got kind of the death thrash stuff from Hatriot, and then Ex Mortis combines it. So every night it's kind of like, you know, you have two separate entities, and then you have kind of a mixture of both of them, and then getting to meet the guys too. They're all really cool dudes, and they're all great players. So it's just been a great time on the road so far with these guys.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out especially this, like, you know, part of the Southwest. I mean, we get shows out here, but every now and then we get like national, pretty big national acts. But yeah, I was like super excited to see you guys' band on the lineup.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I understand you guys put out like a single earlier this year. Do you guys have any plans for any other like music releases this year or the upcoming year?
Yeah, so we are working on our follow-up album, and I think we'll probably go home and start demoing that out a little bit more, and hopefully we can get in the studio and start working on that either late this year or early next year, something like that. But yeah, we have a couple little singles, kind of just some cover songs that are going to be dropping probably in September-ish. So we're trying to just kind of keep a little drip of some music coming out while we work on the next thing. But yeah, I mean, you know, once that stuff's out, I think probably the next big push is going to be getting album number 2 out there. So we're super excited about that.
Do any of you guys have other projects that are getting put out or anything you want to let people know about?
I think we all pretty much dropped everything else that we had to just focus on this. Like, I actually recently just moved from the Northwest over to the East Coast. I live in South Carolina now, and I was in 6 bands before I left, and then I dropped all of them except for these guys, and we all pretty much just put our focus solely on this at this point.
Do you guys all like live in that like Pacific Northwest area?
Yep.
With the exception of Michael, who's in South Carolina right now. But yeah, the rest of us are, yeah, all Oregon except for Walter's in Washington. But yeah,
Which is practically just Little Oregon where he's at anyways, so.
yeah, they call it Vantucky because it's like Kentucky, but Vancouver. It's a little joke for all the Portland folks out there.
Yeah, no, I always want to check out that part of the country.
Yeah, you totally should. It's awesome. It's beautiful. I would say, you know, depending on what your opinion is of being in constant rain, that would definitely impact when you should go. If you don't like rain, the summers are beautiful. They get kind of hot. But if you do like rain, the rest of the year is equally beautiful if you're not afraid of getting a little wet, I guess.
Really good for black metal up there.
Yeah, I guess all the rain and the overcast skies. Yeah. But yeah, no, thanks for talking to me, guys. You know, really looking forward to your sets. Is there any like bands or any shout outs or any like thing you think people should check out that, you know, you guys are either friends of or, you know, in that area of the country?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Anvil. They're a cool, smaller band you should definitely check out.
Damn. Okay, so yeah, cool Portland bands to check out. I heard somewhere that we have like per capita the most metal bands per people. I don't know if that's true, but
I believe that.
that'd be-
Choose to.
We have a
that'd be
small
cool.
populace,
That'd be
but a lot of bands, to
Yeah.
be honest.
So I would check out Bewitcher. Those guys are fucking awesome. They play kind of like a Venom sort of worship kind of thing. Soul Grinder are really cool also. We're actually going to be playing with them in Idaho.
Solicitor is another really good one.
Really good.
They're kind of like Seattle-based speed metal with a female front. Amy's an amazing vocalist and an amazing person too. So no, go ahead.
I really like Leather Bitch. They're like a cool, sleazy, speed metal, heavy metal type of thing. Really cool band.
What else do we have from Portland? Oh yeah, and there's Vitriol,
Hey.
death metal band.
Shout out to my old band. What up?
Yeah, I guess the big one I'm familiar with is like Toxic Holocaust.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good friends with those guys. God, how could I forget? Yeah, they're on tour right now. We actually they played at Brick by Brick just a couple days before we did, which was kind of funny.
It's actually pretty crazy. Their drummer is someone that we hung out with like in high school times. So like seeing them kind of blow up even more than they already had is really cool to see, you know.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. I hope everyone that listens to this checks out Silver Talon and everything else that you guys mentioned. But thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
for having us, man.
Really
Cheers.
appreciate it.